Arda Guler, 21 years old. And the one name on this list I won't say could be a disgrace about, because for him, everything is already over. Turkey, the team shown as a dark horse before the tournament without scoring a single goal. And Arda, the entire hope of a whole country, was one of the first to leave the stage. Think about it. Turkey took a full 62 shots in 2 matches, but couldn't score a single goal. That's a record, but the worst kind. Arda, the Real Madrid star, was the one who put one of those clear chances over the bar in the 14th minute. What's more, they lost to a 10-man Paraguay, which made the defeat even more bitter. That's why he's on this list, because after the match, he was shattered himself. "We should have won these games. I apologize to the Turkish people," he said. A whole country was eliminated in tears, and their biggest star fell silent. This is proof that talent alone isn't enough. Arda is still a gem, but this World Cup became a complete story of disappointment for him and for Turkey. The next name is also under enormous pressure, but he hasn't been eliminated yet. A star who is a king at his club, but can never quite find that form with the national team. Vinicius Junior, 25 years old, the most dangerous winger in the world at Real Madrid, but when he puts on the Brazil shirt, he becomes a completely different person. That's exactly why he's on this list, because we just can't see that monster from his club with the national team. The man who scores more than 20 goals in a season at Real Madrid, who rips defenses apart on his own. But when he comes to Brazil, those numbers, that impact, disappear. The pressure from his country is enormous. Brazil haven't won the trophy in 24 years, and everyone is saying Vinicius needs to explode now. He needs to carry the team, but he still hasn't reached that level in the national shirt. There's also a discipline problem. He gets angry very easily on the pitch, gets drawn into provocations, and is very prone to seeing cards. In a huge tournament like this, a red card seen at a critical moment could shatter both him and Brazil. This is the biggest danger. He arrived as one of the best in the world, but if he can't show that club form again, or can't control his temper, he'll be the main one responsible for a whole nation's disappointment. Will he be a hero or a scapegoat? Subscribe to be one of the first to know. Federico Valverde, 27 years old. Real Madrid's warrior with that never-ending energy, but when he comes to Uruguay, the load placed on him is almost superhuman. That's why he's on this list, because expecting this much from a single player is a danger in itself. In Uruguay's midfield, he's practically everywhere. Defend, build the play, score goals, and take on the team's leadership all at once. Being a team's engine on your own is great, but it's also torture, because when everything is expected of you, you're also the first to be blamed when things go wrong. There's also Uruguay's squad, full of stars, but aging. They have a consistency problem in attack with names like Nunez, and most of this load falls onto Valverde's back. If he drops in a match, the whole team drops with him. This is the dangerous part. He may be one of the most complete midfielders in the world, but he's trying to carry more than a person can. If that engine gets overloaded and stalls at this tournament, all of Uruguay stops along with him. The next name is also under enormous pressure, but his is completely different. He was once the best in the world, but he may be coming to his last chance in the most difficult period of his age. Kevin De Bruyne, 34 years old. He was once, without question, the best midfielder in the world. No one could play the passes he played, but now he's come to the most difficult period of his age, and that's why he's on this list, because whether that old De Bruyne is still there, no one is sure. For years, he was the brain of Manchester City, playing those assists that split a defense with a single glance. But once you're 34, halfway down the road, that explosive tempo and the rhythm sustained over many minutes don't last like they used to. Holding that level in every match is no longer possible, and injuries won't leave him alone either. This is Belgium's tragedy too. That golden generation, the Lukaku, De Bruyne, Hazard era, hasn't won a major trophy in years, and this is probably their last chance. The whole load falls onto De Bruyne's creativity again, but he's now a 34-year-old player. If he shows that decline his age brings on the pitch, or his tempo isn't enough, he'll be the face of the last chance. A whole Belgium missed. He may be a legend, but time defeats every legend. The next name is also under big pressure, but he's not a veteran. He carries an enormous responsibility on his shoulders as the captain of an entire country. Hakan Calhanoglu, 32 years old, and just like Arda Guler at the start of the video, his tournament is already over too, because he was Turkey's captain and the name carrying the team's biggest responsibility. But Turkey were eliminated from the group without scoring a single goal. At Inter, he's one of the best midfielders in Europe, those magnificent passes, that set-piece mastery. But as a captain, he was the one who had to manage the team in those those two critical matches. It didn't happen. Turkey took 62 shots in 2 matches and couldn't find a goal. And in that disaster, all eyes turned to the captain. His talent is undeniable, but at a World Cup, captaincy means not just talent, but results. And the result was a complete disappointment for an entire country. The next name is also under big pressure, a midfielder in a Legends team who is expected to inherit that Legends burden. Bruno Fernandes, 31 years old, Portugal's brain in midfield. That's exactly why he's on this list, because in Ronaldo's country, being the name expected to inherit that Legends burden is an enormous pressure. He forms the best midfield trio of the tournament alongside Vitinha and João Neves. His talent is undeniable, but the entire attacking responsibility rests at his feet. Indeed, Portugal got held by DR Congo in the very opener, and he was the first name to be questioned. If Portugal are eliminated early, one of the names to be blamed will definitely be Bruno. This is exactly where the problem lies. A world-class midfielder, but he has to deliver results in the country of the legend Ronaldo. What if he gets crushed under that responsibility? The next name is also under enormous pressure. He was once the most expensive player in the world, but he may be coming to his last chance, injured and in doubt. Neymar, 34 years old. He was once the most expensive player in the world, transferred for 222 million euros, seen as the heir to Messi and Ronaldo. But today there's a completely different picture, and that's why he's on this list, because that star may be coming to his last chance, injured and in doubt. In recent years, his career has been shattered by injuries, knee injuries, constant interruptions, months away from the pitch. He barely made it into the Brazil squad, even despite his recent injuries, thanks to his name and his past talent. So on the pitch, he's not that old Neymar, he's a physically doubtful player. This is the tragedy. Neymar gave everything to win a World Cup, but could never manage it, and this is almost certainly his last chance. If he can't get fit or appears on the pitch as a small fraction of that old level, he'll be remembered as the sad finale of a legend. The man expected to end Brazil's trophy drought could lose to his own body. This is exactly where the danger lies. He was once the best on the planet, but now it's not even certain whether he can take the field. What if that great talent can't even be on the stage in the final act? And the next final name is the peak of all of this. At 41 years old, in his 6th and final World Cup, a legend who still has a single thing left to prove. Cristiano Ronaldo, 41 years old. And here is the absolute peak of all this pressure, because this is his 6th and final World Cup. And as the most followed athlete on the planet, the eyes of billions are on him. He won everything in his career, but there's one trophy left, the World Cup. This is also where the risk of disgrace is highest. A 41-year-old player is still expected to make a difference, but his old pace, his old leap are no longer there. On the pitch, he's downright walking. Portugal got unexpectedly held by DR Congo in the very opener, and Ronaldo struggled on that stage. If he stays dull at this tournament, the criticism "he's too old now, he's become a burden to the team" will come down on him like an avalanche. This is the most bitter end for a legend, that such a huge career would end without reaching the one trophy he dreamed of, while millions want to remember him as a hero, to say goodbye in failure. But there's the other side of the coin too. What if he fools everyone and lifts that missing trophy in this last dance? This is exactly what makes Ronaldo so great. On that thin line between disgrace and legend, at 41, he's still trying to write history. So here they are, the 8 names under the biggest pressure at this tournament. Some have already been eliminated, some are injured, and some carry the burden of a legend. So which of these 8 names do you think will experience the biggest disappointment at this World Cup? Or which one will silence everyone and become a hero? Drop your prediction in the comments right now.